Good morning, students. Welcome. We are starting with the new chapter and hopefully last chapter of your first sem course, and that is chapter number 9, Reproduction in Animals, part 1. Now, students, let's see what do you mean by reproduction. We will start with the introduction of this chapter. Now, before starting the chapter, we should know what is reproduction. I think you all know actually what is reproduction. Reproduction is a process by which living things give birth to a new generation, giving birth to a new generation of organisms of the same kind. This process is called reproduction. This is actually the definition for your reproduction. It is giving birth to a new generation of organisms of the same kind means human beings will give birth to human beings. Animals like dog will give birth to dog, cats will give birth to cat, fish will give birth to fish. That is same kind. So that is known as reproduction. Actually, several processes such as circulation of blood, digestion, and respiration are essential for the survival of human beings and other animals. Yes, students, you know these, all these processes. Do you recall these processes you have done in your previous classes? They are very essential for the survival of human beings. Yeah, these processes are essential. In the same way, reproduction is essential to maintain the continuity in the species. स्पीशीज में कंटिन्यूटी मेंटेन करने के लिए रिप्रोडक्शन की प्रोसेस जो है वो इम्पोर्टेंट है. Reproduction is essential for the continuation of a species, we can say in that way. Imagine what would have happened if organisms had not reproduced. So you will realize if reproduction in animals does not take place, no similar kind of organisms will be present on the earth generation after जनरेशन. अगर रिप्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस ही नहीं होगी तो सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ ऑर्गेनिजम्स भी नहीं होंगे और जनरेशन कंटिन्यू नहीं होगा. Now, what is importance of reproduction? Reproduction is important because without it, a species would not survive over time. Individuals must reproduce to ensure that they will continue on over generations of time. That continuation of similar kind of individuals will go on generation after generation. This is the importance of reproduction. Now let's see further we move to this chapter. Here are two modes of reproduction, methods or we can say modes of reproduction. First I will just, we will see their definition, what these modes mean, and then we will discuss them in detail. There are two types of reproduction, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. First, what is asexual reproduction? The production of a new organism from a single parent without involvement of sex cells or gametes is called asexual reproduction. This is asexual reproduction, not sexual. Yeah, students? So what is the example of this? Binary fission in amoeba. If in any reproduction process only single parent is involved, there is no involvement of two parents, then such type of reproduction is known as asexual reproduction. There is no involvement of sex cells or we can say the gametes. Next mode is our sexual reproduction. The production of a new organism from two, TWO, spelling mistake is there, two parents by making use of their sex cell or gametes is called sexual reproduction. The mode of reproduction in which two parents are involved, that is male and female sex cells or gametes are involved, their fusion takes place, then and only then the organism is born, and such type of reproduction is called sexual reproduction. And for example, human beings, fish, frog, all these are the examples of sexual reproduction. Now we will discuss them in detail. We start first with sexual reproduction. Now try to recall the reproduction in plants which you studied in class 7. Students, in previous standards you have studied about the reproduction in plants. Now in this chapter we will study about the reproduction in animals. So I think you can recall that reproduction in plants. You will remember that plants that reproduce sexually have male and female reproductive parts. They have male reproductive parts and even female reproductive parts. I think you must be remembering androecium and gynoecium, which were the gynoecium was a female reproductive part and androecium was a male reproductive part. Can you name these parts? Yes, I have named now only. In animals also, males and females have different reproductive parts or organs. Like plants, the reproductive plant parts in animals also produce gametes that fuse to form a zygote. They fuse to form zygote. It is the zygote which develops into a new individual. जब plants के reproductive parts आपस में fuse होते हैं, they form a zygote, and zygote develops into a new individual. This type of reproduction beginning from fusion of male and female gametes is called sexual reproduction. Now let us find out reproductive parts in table. Now leave it. This you can check out in your textbook. Animals, young one, human, baby, cat, dog, butterfly, hen, chick, cow. We have seen all these. Yes, in our these all for in study the process of reproduction in them. You know, for human beings, the young one is baby. For cat, it is, you can see kitten. You can name it kitten. For dog, the young one is puppy. For butterfly, it is caterpillar. For hen, it is chick. For cow, it is calf. And for frog, it is tadpole. In humans, and study the production of process of reproduction in them. Now let's start with male reproductive organs. What are male reproductive organs, students? The male reproductive organ, this is in human beings. The male reproductive organ includes a pair of testes, two sperm ducts, and a penis. These are the male reproductive organs which are important. You should remember. The testes produce male gametes called sperms. These are sex cells produced in males. We call it sperms. We can also say it as a gametes. Male gametes are called sperms. Millions of sperms are produced by the testes. Testes produce millions of sperms. You can see in the figure, sperm duct, you can see this is sperm duct. Yeah, this is sperm duct where sperms are produced. Penis is shown in the figure, and even testes. Sperms are produced in testes, and then they are carried by the sperm duct to the further parts. So I hope you understood. Now what are sperms? Sperms were first observed in 1677 by Antony van Leeuwenhoek using a microscope. They are very minute in size, so it was observed when, which year first it was observed? In 1677. The sperms are produced by testes, we discussed it now. Those sperms are very small in size, each has a head, a middle piece and a tail. हर एक sperm में एक head होता है, a middle piece and a tail. I will show you the figure. Each sperm is a single cell with all usual cell components. वो एक single cell है जिसमें सारे cell के components present होते हैं. It is a single cell. See, the new generation always starts from a fusion of single cells. You can see the figure of sperm cell, which is also given in your textbook. You have to draw the figure also. This you can see here, it is head part. This part is known as head. This is middle piece, and this complete part up to here is known as tail. So this is the figure of the sperm cell. Now next is female reproductive organs. What are female reproductive organs? The female reproductive organs are of ovaries, oviducts, fallopian tubes, and the uterus. The ovary produces female gametes called ova or eggs. Eggs are produced by the ovaries. Now female gamete is ova and the male gamete was sperm. You have to remember. A single matured egg, single cell matured egg is released into oviduct by one of the ovaries every month. Every one, एक ओवरी, हर ओवरी अल्टरनेटली एवरी मंथ एक एग रिलीज करती है. Uterus is the development of the baby take place. Uterus is the place where the development of baby take place. Like the sperm, an egg is also a single cell. हर महीने एक egg हर ओवरी रिलीज करती है into the oviduct. Oviduct से वो रिलीज करती है. And the egg is also a single cell like sperm. You can see the figure. Oviduct, these are oviducts. This is the ovary which releases egg every month through the oviduct, and this part uterus here is where the development of baby takes place in female reproductive organs. So I hope these male reproductive organs and female reproductive organs are clear to you, students. So now our next topic is fertilization. What is fertilization? Let's see. Firstly, reproduction in animals begins when the sperm fuses with an ovum. Sperm is a male gamete and ovum or ova we can call is a female gamete, which we have discussed now only. And this process is called fertilization. See students, the nuclei of the sperm and egg combines together and form a single nucleus. फर्टिलाइजेशन प्रोसेस दिख रही है, ये जो है एग से जो स्पर्म सेल है वो फ्यूज हो रहे हैं और न्यूक्लियाई ऑफ द स्पर्म का जो न्यूक्लियस है और एग कंबाइन होके एक सिंगल न्यूक्लियस बनाते हैं। सी फ्यूजिंग न्यूक्लिया, यू कैन सी न्यूक्लियस आपस में फ्यूज हो रहे हैं, कंबाइन हो रहे हैं और उनमें से एक सिंगल न्यूक्लियस बनता है। एज अ रिजल्ट द जाइगोट इज फॉर्म, दिस इज कॉल्ड जाइगोट। उनके बाद जो एक सिंगल न्यूक्लियस वाला सेल बनता है उसे हम कहते हैं जाइगोट। Since zygote is formed with the fusion of male and female gametes, the new individual possesses the characteristics of both the parents. जो new individual होगा, जो भी बच्चा जो न्यू पैदा होता है उसमें मदर और फादर दोनों के कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होते हैं। I hope so. The new individual inherits some characteristics from the mother and some from the father. Look at your brother and sister. See if you can recognize some characteristics in them similar to those of your mother or your father. उनके अंदर सेम कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होते हैं। आप फिगर में भी देख सकते हैं। पहला फिगर है फर्टिलाइजेशन प्रोसेस स्टार्ट कैसे हो रहा है और उसके बाद जाइगोट फॉर्मेशन दिखाया गया है। Yes, students, I hope you understood this process of fertilization. You know, egg cells also varies in human beings. The egg may be very small as in humans, much larger as in hens. Ostrich egg is the largest. Ostrich का जो egg है वो largest माना गया है। Hens के egg भी large होते हैं, but जो human eggs होते हैं वो बहुत small होते हैं। तो इसलिए living organisms में eggs की size जो है वो vary करती है। ये एक small part of information आपकी textbook में दिया हुआ है जो आप go through करेंगे। Now students, fertilization are also of two types. दो तरह के fertilization processes होते हैं. First is internal fertilization and other is external fertilization. What is internal fertilization? The fertilization process that takes place inside the female body. Female body के inside में जो process take place होता है, like for example human beings, it is called internal fertilization. And the fertilization process that takes place outside the body of the females is known as this one, external fertilization. जो female body के बाहर fertilization होता है. For example, it is in the case of frogs. Now, less number of eggs are produced by such females as there are high chances of the survival of the offspring. यहाँ पे जो eggs produce होते हैं females में बहुत ही कम number में होते हैं. Like for in human beings, only one egg is produced every month. Because here the survival of offspring is high. Survival chances are high. Why? Because the offspring, or we can say baby, is completely protected inside the human body, so that survival chances are more. But in case of external fertilization, a large number of eggs are produced by such females as the chance of survival of the offsprings are very low. Low because they are not protected inside the female body, so that survival chances are very low. For example, cows, human beings and hens undergo internal fertilization, and hens may be eggs lay karte hain, even they lay eggs, their fertilization is internal. How? We will discuss it further. And for example, aquatic animals like fishes and amphibians like frogs undergo external fertilization. These processes we will discuss further. Let's see. Now, what are test tube babies? Students, you must have heard about the words test tube baby. The full form for test tube baby is IVF, is in vitro fertilization. We call it as in vitro fertilization. In some women, the oviducts are blocked and hence they are unable to hold the eggs. Oviducts वो tubes होते हैं जहाँ से eggs pass होते हैं. Eggs produce तो होते हैं, but oviducts की जो area होती है, जो tubes होते हैं जहाँ से eggs को pass होना होता है, they are blocked. So they are unable to hold the eggs. This means that these women are not able to bear babies because of blocked oviducts. They cannot bear babies because if eggs will not pass through the oviducts, they will not go for the process of fertilization and hence they cannot carry the babies. However, due to the process of in vitro fertilization or IVF, the freshly released eggs of females and the male sperms can be fertilized externally. उनको फिर क्या किया जाता है, एक्सटर्नली उनको फर्टिलाइज करवाया जाता है. लाइक फीमेल्स में से एग्स को एक्सट्रैक्ट किया जाता है एंड मेल्स में से स्पर्म्स को, एंड दे आर टू बी फर्टिलाइज एक्सटर्नली आउटसाइड द बॉडी ऑफ फीमेल. दे आर जस्ट फर्टिलाइज्ड. द रिमेनिंग प्रोसेस इज कैरिड आउट इनसाइड द फीमेल बॉडी. Now the zygote thus formed, you know, after the fusion of male and female gamete, zygote is formed. We have discussed in the process of fertilization. So as soon as the zygote thus formed is allowed to develop for a week outside the female body. Just for a week it is allowed to develop outside the female body in safe conditions. Safe conditions are provided and is then placed in the woman's uterus, and then it is again placed in the or injected in the woman's uterus. In this way, these women can bear babies. So these women which have blocked oviduct, which have these problems, they can even bear the babies through in vitro fertilization. The babies that are born with IVF process are called test tube babies. So we call them as test tube babies. In test tube baby students, complete development of the baby takes place in the uterus, and the babies are born like any other babies are born to the female. There is no other difference, just only the fertilization process is carried out externally. Actually, this term is misleading because babies cannot grow in the test tubes. Test tube babies को लोग नो ये मानते हैं कि completely baby को test tube में born किया जाता है, but it is not possible. It is just the process of fertilization which is carried outside the female body. Now, external fertilization in frogs and toads. What is the external? We have just discussed about external and internal. First, we will see about the external fertilization, how it takes place in frogs and toads. Toads are the young ones of frogs. The frogs and toads produce by laying eggs in a slow stream or ponds. हमेशा ये slow streams में या ponds में egg lay करते हैं. The female frog first lay hundreds of eggs together in the water. If you can imagine, hundreds of eggs are laid by the female eggs at a time together in the water. These eggs are not covered with any hard shell. Instead, there is a jelly-like substance that guards them and holds them together. Actually, they do not have hard shells. जैसे आपने देखा होगा hens egg में hard shells होते हैं, but in this kind of eggs, they do not possess any shell covering, but there is a jelly-like substance which can guard the cell. As the female frog lays their eggs, the male frog deposits the sperms over them. After the eggs are laid, sperms are deposited by the male frogs. This results in external fertilization when the sperms come in the contact with the eggs in the water. Water में ही sperms जो हैं वो eggs के contact में आते हैं. Though the eggs are large in numbers, only a few of them manage to survive. Eggs are in hundreds, but few are able to survive. Why? There are several factors which may hinder the fertilization process, such as exposure to water movement. Water movement की वजह से egg cells destroy हो जाते हैं. रेनफॉल होती है तो भी काफी प्रेशर की वजह से वो जेली लाइक सब्सटेंस जो है वो डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाता है. विंड्स एंड अदर एनिमल्स आल्सो ट्राई टू eat them. So this type of fertilization, hundreds में eggs होते हैं, but the survival chances of the offsprings are very low. So only 5 to 6, or we can say hardly 10 frogs can survive. So it is very common in aquatic animals such as fish and starfish also. So I have told you why they lay eggs in hundreds, because the chances of survival is very low. So this is the process of external fertilization. How the external fertilization, completely fertilization takes place in water. There is no fusion of internal fusion of sperm cell or egg cell. Just the eggs are laid and then the males lay their sperms over the eggs. Such type of fertilization is known as external fertilization. So I hope students you understood the topics up to here. Yeah. In next video we will discuss about our next topics. For this video, this much only. Please students go through the topics explained in these videos once again. Yeah. Thank you students. Stay safe. Keep studying.